Hello friend, how are you? Welcome to Tripan Study Center. Today we are doing most important chapter of history. What is the topic today? The economic in there is the 18th century India. There is important. The economic in the 18th century India. The 18th century can hardly be said to be exhibit when the substantial is economical continuity between two it is the earlier and later part. It was a period of the considerable is a politically turmoil in India, one in which their state were formed to the resolve in a quick sensations, and that there was a great deal of the fluidity in a system. It is of course the truth that arrived by there is a military force would have a causal to the declarations. The destruction of the aggregation is a tanks. There is a foreseeable explorations of cattle, wealth. And even to force a mass of the masses of people were not unknown in the war of the 70th century as there are after. All this is a must have had to the harmful effect on the economical stability and really to their impulse to about to the growth. And when the view from to Delhi that 18th century is the continental a gloomy period, the attack of the Nadir Shah went to the Ahmad Shah Abdali, and finally he is attacked by the Rohillas, who is controlled to Delhi in a 1761 to 71. Put the city is a state of regular destruction, and this is a perspective can hardly has been to the share by the inhabitant of other centers in India. Within the three Vedrams, Pune, Patna, and Jaipur, and there was a process economical is a rotation that is a company the political decentralization of era, and it is on the account of the this that of the experience of Delhi and Agra cannot be generalized. However, there are conditions of different reasons where to not be uniform. In some, the first half of the 18th century of witness is a continued expansion Bengal, Jaipur and Hyderabad. For example, while some other where is a later is a bloomers as it is the case of Travancore, Mysore or the Punjab. No single chronology of economical is a prosperity and the decline in the likely therefore to be fit all the reasons of the India in the epoch. Depth there is some keys of weakness and there are contradictions. The economical of 18th century of perform well in the sphere of agriculture. Inland trade of the urbanization and there were some area which is a say is agricultural decline. Often because of interstate is a warfare in the Punjab and part of the northern India. The lack of new agriculture method and techniques was overcome with their experience and management of the land and labor. Data of the Tassim paper use and the compare the vis-a-vis any in the Akbari proved that it was not be lack of cultivable land but there is important and there is some area which is a agriculture decline of this because the interstate welfare is a Punjab and part of the northern India. There is important here the compare wise the NA Akbari. The proof that it is a not is a lack of cultivable land but lack of the labor and peace which is the resulting into the decline agricultural production and fluctuating agriculture price as well. At the same time, the price is rise to benefit the peasant, but is unequally is according to the vertically divided section of peasantries. State except to the tribute from the system of agriculture is a commodities and production that tied to the village and expensive network of commercial mobility and exchange. It is a noteworthy that respect for the major substance crisis in the South India between 1702 and 1704. The first seven declared of the 18th century in India were remarkable free of fame. The great is the Bengal fame of the 1770. It is which is estimated to the one third of their population proceed to the occurring is soon after the conical conquest. And this is followed by there another destruction is a mine in the northern India in 1783. The overall of favorable the land the labor ratio had enabled to the highly mobile peasant and tribal is a labor to be neglected is a reasonable term with the controller of land. But the scarcity is a revenue a demand made the peasant is distractions are regular phenomenon and particularly in the northern India. Well, some village is a notable managed to the transform of revenue form into the heredity of the state and other fell their sequence from to powerful regional state as a Tippu as a Monsieur. A population of production price and wage tended, generally speaking, to be on the gentle upward as incline and during the 18th century. The fragmented political did not be hamper the development of the travelings of inland trade in the grain and cloth and cattle. Corporate or merchant institution are transcended a political boundary in our signing the transportation of good and the provisional credit and insurance of service. Pre-conical era artisanal is a labor, especially is a beavers, had to apple scope from successfully extracting extravagant or demand by the intermediate social group and the state. Even in the West state like a later 18th century, a monsieur appearing to attack the intermediaries rather than to the labor evidence from Bengal and Madras and suggests that the urban labor was a versus of in relation to the state and the market in the earlier chronicle than there is the immediate of pre-colonial period. Being in inland is traded well the Indian sweeper and merchant involved in export of trade decline in the force of European advance. The great is a Gujarati port, a city of Gujarat loss is important around 7020. The 7020 is the most important year, and there was a insurgence is a demand for India goods in the both West and Southeast Asia in the later 18th century in addition to the Europeans' demand. But by no British is a merchant and sweeper had achieved a dominance at the expense of Indian and took the bulk of the profit. As the old commercially center of the Surat is a Masulipatanam and Dhaka is a degenerated is a colonial and port cities like Bombay, Madras and Kolkata took there is a pride of place. But the decline of the Mughal capital of Delhi and Agra was upset by the rise of regional capital, including Lucknow, Hyderabad, the various Maratha city and Sri Nagapatnam, and there is a level of urbanization was clearly highly in the 80 than the century before. The 18th century before there is important and what had to change in the urban center was the relative balance of power between the ruler and merchants. In some instance is a commercial and financial magnate is there is aggregating himself a power of the state. It would be also appear for a variety of reasons that the mid 18th century the mark of significance changed economical sphere. For example, when the English East India Company got a hold on the revenues of the Bengal Sabha, their flow of the money was adversely affected. Well, the earlier Bengal received a gold and silver in exchange for its export. This pattern no longer held. In later part of the 18th century, the peasant were forced to cultivate contain a cash crop like indigo and opium. And this had observed their impact on the food crop production. But another reason why the later half of the 18th century differ from the period before about 17,050, there is a changing character of their war in the post 1750s period. The welfare is become a more adaptive of the civil life and economical protection than before. And at the same time, the new techniques is a use made it is a for more expensive proposition. This use of firm arms on the larger scale. The implement of the mercenaries and the maintenance of standing army. And all this is a hard and harmful effect.